Okay, this one, unscrew it from below and then hit it with a hammer until it loosens. And it will use a lot of W40 and using a brush. So this is how this piece of exhaust looks like, and it's welded here. So that was the reason it came out so extremely hard. You can see here there's no how do you say it? Head of a bolt. So it's just a piece of metal. So you need to unscrew the screw, and there's also a piece of rubber and also this piece, like so, comes on there, and everything was extremely stuck. So this is how it looks like, and you need to pry it out. This is how it looks from inside. You need to pry it out because, well, here it's on top of this piece of metal, so it's like 5 centimeters of tube that you need to, like the other tube is stuck inside for like this much. You need to pry it out, and with something like this you can also use a hammer, put it inside, and like so, and then you can move it around until it comes out. Okay, for the heat shield I will use these self-made clamps. So how did I make it? How did I make them? I made them out of cans, and specifically the bottom of a can. So you can see here, like this. So I didn't use any of the painted area, but only the clean aluminium area. And the corners I did push back with some pliers, and then I cut a hole, a small hole inside the bottom, and used, you can also use regular scissors, these are scissors for metal, to create this shape on the bottom. And then I used the back of these pliers to push it nice and smooth, also the surface is a bit more equal. And then if I'm going to put it in the car, there are screws, the screw wire. I'm going to push this onto the screw wire, and because of this shape, like a bit of a star shape I put in, it will lock onto the screw, and it will stay fit there. And this is the same material, it's just aluminium, same material as the heat shield. And here you can see it in action. Oh, let me see. There's the second one. So here you can see all of them in place. It seems there was something in here. I forgot to cover it up. But well, most of the heat shield is intact. So I'm going to leave it like that, and later on I'm going to put the muffler, the same one as on the other side. I will place it here, and there will be one piece of metal holding the muffler on this piece of rubber. And I see it's also very much corroded here. Hope it will hold for some more time. I think I'm going to have a little bit of a problem. I'm not sure how big. This is the old exhaust. You can see how it looks like. It's extruding a bit into this direction. It's not completely oval. And well, for the rest it looks quite the same. And if I look at the new one, this one is oval. And for the rest, oh, I see also this is in a different spot. So I hope this will fit. And also I see there's no clamp here. So I put some things underneath, so if the thing falls down, it doesn't get smashed on the tiles here. So I put something here to hold it up while working, and I think I'm first going to put it here on this bar, so the rubber over this bar, and afterwards try to fit it from the other side. And before I fit it, I want to remove the clamp from the previous pipe and put it on here. Okay, I put it here on this pot, and you can see the bar. I put it in that hole, but it gets in very, very difficult. It doesn't slide in very well, so I could use some W40, and I'm going to approach it here from this side, so from the back of the car. And now it's resting here on this thing, so it's easier to pull it in. So in the end I didn't have to use any W40, like holding it with my thumb and then pushing it in like this with two hands, and I finally got it to go far enough over this bar. Later on I will push it even further, but first I'll have to connect that piece of the exhaust onto that piece, and I need to put a clamp on this tube. Okay, this is the old tube, and here's the clamp. And it's welded over here, so I'm going to use some simple metal saw and try to cut it here, so this piece will get loose. And well, I did damage this screw, so I hope the bolt will get on, but I'm not quite sure, so perhaps I'll have to file in here this screw wire so the bolt will fit, or I'll have to cut a piece of this wire to get the bolt on. Okay, I did cut it here, and I used a hammer in this direction, and then finally it got loose. So perhaps if you want, here is the text that is inside the clamp, and well, I decided to just cut off a piece of this wire because, well, the bolt doesn't get on, doesn't fit. Okay, now it's cut off. Let's see if it will fit. I'll have to test it a bit. So I had to use this tool to screw the bolt on, and it seems to work okay, and the thread doesn't get broken in the process of putting it back on. So that's all okay, and I'm going to use this clamp on the new exhaust. So next problem here, this piece protrudes a bit too much in this direction. So it's impossible for me to put this clamp on the exhaust tube or pipe. So I'll have to file a little bit here of the surface off, and hopefully then it will fit. And also I'm quite sure if here this weld is also just protruding too much to the inside to be able to put it onto the tube. But on the other hand, I'd like something to stick into the tube to have more grip, because I won't be welding it. So I hope it will stay put this way. So hopefully filing this little piece will help to put it onto the tube. Okay, I got it on. I think the wrong way, because this one was facing down when I was removing it. So I'm not quite sure if it's going to be a big problem. We'll see. And if so, I'll have to remove everything again. And I just hammered it down with this kind of hammer. Hit here, and then smoothly it went up into here. So now I'll have to connect those two tubes. Okay, I got it in. So how did I do it? Here I had to push this exhaust out here so it doesn't stick above to the plastic. And if I move it a little bit to this side, then it will fit underneath there. And then it's quite easy to put these two tubes together. And they tend to separate, so I need to move or put a clamp on. And well, in my case I had to cut this wire, but don't do it if you can, because now there's just too little space for the washer. And in the process of doing this, I also lost one of these, so I have to put it back on. The rest of them are still here. So in the end I decided to move it a little bit upwards, and by doing so and hitting on it with this hammer, the space in between became a little bit less, so I was able to put the washer on again and the bolts. So now I'm going to screw everything tightly back together. And placing it like this will allow you to put your tool freely in between, so it's easier. During this procedure, these tubes tend to come apart, so that you'll need to hold this one firmly and pull it in that direction. Also keeping eye if the tubes don't separate. And with the other hand, you'll need to tighten this. And I'm not quite sure, perhaps it's because of the washer I used, it's a little bit too big and it's holding on that edge. But it's still not completely connected, but I think that there's already too much pressure here, so I can't continue putting these together. So I think this will be the maximum possible. And it's done. Now everything should work correctly. Okay, from what I see, the fumes get out of here. I feel them. And I need to check if they also come out of there. This shouldn't be the case. And no. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of those fumes coming from here, so it doesn't seal completely.